What is up, everybody? Welcome into episode 42 of the Brahma Bullpen. We got episode 41 out of the way. Everybody knows we took our second L of the season to DC, but we're past that, folks. We're not talking about that no more. And you know what? That episode just kind of had me, rattled a little bit. Our passing game, our passing game. Rushing game was good. Passing game, defense was good. Passing game, man. But, I'm here in the Cow Pasture Studios down here at the Brahma Bullpen on behalf of the United Football Media. And, I got my new bar set up here. The preview show's a little less intense, especially after a loss. So I'm going to kind of chill out a little bit, welcome everybody down in here into the Cow Pasture. And I'm going to have me a cold beer. I'm going to have a cold beer while I'm doing this. What's the fun in football and podcasting and hanging out with your buddies if you don't drink a beer with them every now and then? I'm on episode 42 of the Bullpen, and I don't think I've ever shared a beer with the Bullpen family, with the Brahma family, with my YOUR San Antonio crowd, and with my UFM crowd, and whoever else is watching. I know I got some haters that watch this. This is for you too, haters, but we'll have us a little cold beer. Oh, yeah. I drink, I'm not endorsed by any beer company, obviously, but I like to drink me a cold Lone Star down here in the Cow Pasture. It was what I consider a microbrew before microbrew was cool, right? But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. One of the things I always don't do because I don't want to come off like a beggar and put and say like, share, subscribe. But hey, man, like, share, subscribe. And in the words of the famous Josh Pate, it's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. And it helps us. It helps with the algorithms. But enough of me begging, enough of me drinking. Let's get into preview for week 7. So first of all, we got the full league here. We got the Showboats going to the Renegades on Saturday, then followed up by literally the Battle of the Titans, the undisputed top 2 teams in the league. St. Louis Battlehawks going to Birmingham. As somebody was putting on Twitter, hey, St. Louis is coming to town, pack the stadium, I said, yeah, you'll get the stadium packed if you move the game to St. Louis. Freaking Birmingham, 9,000 fans per game. What is wrong with you guys, dude? Back-to-back champs, undefeated season, by far the best-looking team so far in the league. And nobody goes to the games. And they announced 9,000. I think they're averaging 9,600 fans per game. That's sold tickets. That's not even people in the stadium. There's probably closer to 6 people in the stadiums. Yeah, you guys can hate on me for that. But doesn't matter if there's anybody in the stands. We're talking about on the field, between the lines. And let me tell you, if you're a spring football fan and you're not watching this St. Louis versus Birmingham game at 3 p.m. Saturday on Fox, what the heck are you even doing, man? Clear your damn schedule. This is going to be the game of the season, hands down. I didn't mean to gloss over you Showboats in Arlington, their first game of the day. But, if you got errands to run or something, go do it at 12 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central, because that's going to be a turd for Loader. And I don't mean it's going to be raining. You know what I'm saying? We're going to call that the Toilet Bowl. All right, getting into the Sunday's games. Another, what I would consider pretty evenly matched game. Panthers going to D.C. We all saw what happened to our beloved Brahmas up in D.C. I don't know why I keep bringing that up. Hold on, I think that calls for a cold beer. This is a family-friendly show. Make sure you're 21 before you drink. Or if you're in the state of Texas, you can drink under the age of 21. At the age of 18, as long as your parents are with you. So if your parents are with you and you're 18, you can drink, or wait till you're 21. All right, there's my public service number. Oh, and if you have a problem with drinking, please get the help you deserve. I don't have a problem with drinking. There's a difference between drunks and alcoholics. Alcoholics go to meetings, drunk don't go to meetings. But anyways, we'll leave that for another podcast during the off season, out of season. Can I say off season? Anyways, Panthers, DC, back to football, right? I'm rambling for some. You could tell I've had a beer or two. Anyways, back to football. Michigan, DC, going to be a evenly matched game. Two pretty solid defenses. Two offenses that are hit and miss. DC kind of got their running game going against the Brahmas, and they got their miracle passing game going against the Brahmas. Thank you, Jordan Ta'amu. And his receivers are doing like miracle catches all over the field against us. Of course they are. But, we used our miracles to beat them game one. But I digress. We're 1-1. Get over it. Anyways, Michigan's running game's doing great. Their defense is solid. Etling has came in and been able to run the ball and throw the ball just enough. So that's actually going to be a really good game Sunday. And who knows, right? Maybe it's a battle for second place in each conference. I know Brahmas right now technically have the tiebreaker because our winning percentage is higher. But we still have to play some pretty stiff competition down the road, i.e. Birmingham and St. Louis. Episode 41, we kind of broke those schedules down a little bit. And then we're going to end Sunday, 2 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. Another road game, our last road game before we get back to the friendly confines of the Alamo Dome. But we're going to I wouldn't say a hostile environment. I would call it a dormant environment. And I wouldn't say a place with home field advantage. I'd say a place with no field advantage. In Houston, Rice Stadium, Brahmas going to the Roughnecks. Of course, we're going to break that game down here in a little bit. To kind of get a started break-in that game, now that we've gone over the schedule, we're going to throw up the all-important PFF scores. I say all-important because people sometimes are like, oh, the numbers don't mean anything in PFF scores, and we get criticized for using them. Look, man, it's a scoreable metric, right? We're just using scoreable metrics. Are the scores the end-all, be-all for spring football? Absolutely not, but it gives people like me something to talk about while we're drinking beer in a cow pasture. Good grief. By the way, if me drinking beer annoys y'all, please let me know in the comments, and I will never do it again. But for some reason, I just feel like drinking today. Probably has something to do with 79 yards passing, Quentin Dormady. Anyways, okay. So you got our overall score, reports for, points against, and of course the records there. Birmingham on top, 89.5. They were up into the 90s, so they're kind of coming back to the crowd a little bit. St. Louis has leveled off, 82.9. The score differential for Birmingham is just outrageous. 171 points scored, only giving up 89. The only thing that compares is Houston at the bottom, only scoring 84 and giving up 138, right? Sorry, Houston. St. Louis got a great ratio too, 173 to 103. That's winning freaking football, folks. Score more than you give up. The numbers don't lie. And then you got the Brahmas coming in, third-ranked team, 127 to 104. Then Michigan Panthers, 137 to 120. Arlington Renegades, now you start seeing losing records, 117 to 153. DC, 112 to 150. I think DC's figuring stuff out, so it's going to be crazy, crazy, crazy last few weeks of the season. And then the Boats down there, 107 to 171. You see the overall PFF scores. San Antonio and Michigan are right there, neck and neck for number 3 and number 4, and they're actually closer to an 0-6 Arlington team and UF and PFF score speak. They're actually closer to an 0-6 team than we are to the 6-0 team. So San Antonio and the Panthers both have some work to do. And on the San Antonio side, we got DC nipping on our heels. On the Panthers side, the Showboats and Roughnecks are pretty much done, right? I think everyone's going to tell you they're not mathematically eliminated, but they're common sense and cow pasture math eliminated at this point. Of course, we got the power rankings. These are the Brahma Bullpen power rankings, and it's all pretty self-explanatory. Birmingham top, St. Louis 2. I still have the Brahmas 3. Some people got the Brahmas dropped as low as 5. I think we'll cover it here in the next graphic, but the United Football Media folks got San Antonio ranked 5. We lost a 6-point game to DC in the rain. Our quarterback has 70 yards passing, and our defense owned you guys most of the game, And our rushing attack is tops in the league. We are now the number 1 rushing team in the league, more than Birmingham. But if I'd have had to bet money what offensive stat we were going to be number 1 into, after 6 weeks, I would have definitely picked passing with A.J. Smith's offense. Why the shift? Could have something to do with Chase Garbers. Is Dormady a liability? Who knows, right? But You got DC, Michigan there on 4 and 5 respectively, and the next 3 don't matter. Arlington, Memphis, Houston. It is what it is. I truly think Arlington is better than Memphis and Houston, and so I have them ranked at number 6. Sorry, Brandon and Ace. Right? You guys picked wrong teams geographically to root for. It's not my fault. All right, our game graphic. Week 7, San Antonio at Houston. UFM updated power rankings. You saw on my slide, I started the Brahmas 3. The group, our media group, has them ranked number 5. And the Houston Roughnecks ranked number 7. I had them ranked number 8. So, going to be Sunday, May 12th, 4 p.m. on ESPN. Be there or be square. All right. Well, that was a slogan from the 80s, huh? Be there or be square. What is that? Reading Rainbow? I don't know. Man, I'm dating myself. All right, here we go. Week 7 stats. Overall PFF scores 73 to 59. Brahmas are better than Houston. Points scored, points allowed. We already kind of covered that. Brahmas better than Houston. Look at the completion percentage. Now, this is Quentin Dormady's completion percentage compared to Reed Sennett's completion percentage, not counting what Chase Garber's or Quentin, what was that? I don't remember the quarterback that got hurt. Quentin Tarantino. That's a movie director, right? Anyways, some kind of weird name like that. Anyways, sorry, sir. I drew a blank here. I apologize. But anyway, 64.2. That's Reed Sennett's actual completion percentage. Now I'm all messed up because I'm still trying to think of that quarterback's name. Anyways. Passing yards, these are team passing yards. So you can see the Brahmas 1,131 yards to Houston's 1,164 yards. You don't want to get beat by Houston in any stat or metric. And here we are with less passing yards to Houston's passing yards. And we're supposed to be running a Mike Leach air raid offense. AJ Smith, virtual reality, quarterback guru, and Mike Leach offense has less passing yards than the 1-5 Houston Roughnecks, quote-unquote, Mark Thompson power run team. I don't know. Make it make sense, man. Rushing yards, this is where we do have the advantage, 631 yards. That's at an average of 4.9 yards a attempt, and that's team-wide. That's not just us going with player of the week, John Lovett, setting the tone by having the most rushing yards in a game this season so far at 153, and the Brahmas taking over the number 1 rushing stat-wise in the league right now. So we have the most rushing yards, took over the Birmingham spot, compared to Houston's 341 yards, 3.6 yards per carry. Get down to our defenses, you can start seeing a significant separation here. Overall PFF score for our defense, 73.6 compared to 66.3 for Houston. Our quarterbacks hit to sacks. We only got 1 sack last week in DC, but now we have 16 hits, 21 sacks compared to 20 hits and 12 sacks for Houston. So we're getting that pressure. Our edge rushers are definitely tops in the league, man. I mean, our linebacking core and our D line, our front 7 have been lights out. And maybe next week we'll do front 7 comparisons, but next couple slides, we're going to do QB comparisons and running back comparisons. But our front 7 on the defense have been OP in gamer speak. OP, baby. But receiving percentage is pretty much 68.4 for us, 63.5 for them. That's how many catches we're giving up per game. So that's kind of close. So really the only separation you see here is our defense and our rushing offense. That game in DC last week, we were missing 2 of our starting cornerbacks. So some of those miracle catches might have been broke up. But anyways, we're going to go up and do some quarterback comparison. Why I chose to go with the quarterback comparison, because both teams are on their second string quarterbacks. Both teams have had struggles with scoring the ball. You look at Dormady, which this is crazy if you look at his offensive grades. So the week that he actually won, the first week in, he scored a 46. Then we went to Arlington where he threw 3 interceptions and we actually won, but his overall offensive grade was a 62.6. And then we get to DC and he has his offensive grade, highest offensive grade of the season, 76.8. And it was a horrible, horrible game. But you can see his attempts and completions here. So 93 attempts, 58 completions for the season, 488 yards on his own. Yards per attempt is pretty ridiculous. 5.2 for passing is not good. You would want that number to be between 5 and 15, preferably 10 to 12. But, you want to be in that 7, 8, 9 range to be efficient. And then TDs to INTs. There's a problem here. 3 games in, now you're starting, if it was a game 1 and you're starting to get your feet under you and you don't know what these stats mean, but, one time is a chance at happening. 2 times is a pattern. 3 times is a trend, right? So now we're starting to see patterns and trends for Dormady as he's coming in and taking over for Garbers. 3 touchdowns to 5 INTs. That is not good in 3 games, right? Not good at all. You look down there to Reed Sennett's stats. He's got 4 TDs to 2 interceptions, and that's through 6 games. So he played a little bit, 1 snap it looks like, in 1 attempt in game 1, and then he's pretty much been coming in and taking snaps the rest of the season. He has 159 attempts, 102 completions, 64% percentage, 942 yards. He obviously has more games, and he's doing 5.9 yards per attempt, a little bit better. You can kind of see his metrics there. It's pretty good. It looks like everybody's quarterback does well against Arlington. They do have the worst defense in the league. But we look at what we consider similar opponents. Look what Sennett did against DC. He had an offensive grade of 45.4. Somehow, Dormady had one of 76.8. Whichever one of our quarterbacks come out and actually performs like a starting quarterback, not like a backup quarterback that got thrust into the starting position, whichever one of these guys come out this weekend and plays like a starter, their team's probably going to win. And we're going to keep looking at offense. Let's pull up the running backs. Why? Because a team who scores more points wins the game, right? And we're here to win the game. So I put John Lovett, league leading rusher. He's got 74 attempts, 347 yards, 4.7 yards per carry. That's exactly where you want this to be. You don't mind big runs. Big runs are good, but man, you want that guy to get those hard-nosed yards, short yardage situation, 4.7 yards per carry. That's phenomenal. Look at the last 2 games. Weekly offensive score, according to PFF, of an 80.1 against Arlington and an 82.5 against DC. You look back, we played DC week 1. He had a pretty good score. Even the game against St. Louis was good. Michigan was good. Memphis was good. He's doing what he's got to do. He's proven he's RB1. When McFarland gets healthy, John Lovett was a backup. When McFarland gets healthy, man, I'm saying run with Lovett. He's doing what he's got to do, and he's toting the rock. You get down here to the Mark Thompson and P.J. Fletcher running backs. We don't know who's going to be starting running back this week. If you read the cryptic tweets of Mark Thompson online, he's basically saying he's not having fun anymore and all this stuff, and he regrets things he did his rookie year. And so is he going to play? Is he not going to play? I mean, 26 attempts for 90 yards this season. Would Houston really even be missing him at this point? I mean, if you watch my boy Ace's show on the Houston Roughnecks or watch any of his stuff on Twitter, one of the games they went into the game saying they were going to 25 touches for Mark Thompson regardless, and then a tight end got hurt, and that was the reason he only got 5 touches. Either they're taking him out of the game, Mark Thompson's taking himself out of the game, or the play calling is just going away from who's perceived to be their best player. Who knows? But both running backs here averaging just over 3 yards per carry. Probably not enough. You'd want to see that number closer to 4. And you can see all the scores just not doing that great, I think that we have the obvious advantage in the running game. I think our defensive line is better than Houston's defensive line, and I think our offensive line is better than Houston's offensive line. And in case you're wondering, right now, the Brahmas have the highest rated pass blocking offensive lineman in the league, and Rashard Coward right now. And we have 2 players in the top 10 as far as overall blocking, 3 players in the top 11. You get where I'm going with this. All of our O-line, even though we've been obliterated by injuries, our O-line has constantly held it together. All right. So we talked about our offense. We talked about our passing game, rushing game. Talked a little bit about defense. We had a cold beer. Let me have another cold beer right here. And then we're going to do our win-loss predictions. Right now, I'm 19-5 for the season. I think that's pretty good. I had 1 week where I went 2-2. Last week, I went 3-1. I lost the Brahmas game because I thought we were going to beat DC. But I digress. This week, we got the Show Bowls going 2 Renegades. The Tulip Bowl, I think Arlington's better than them. Arlington's home. They're better than the Showboats. I think Luis Perez is going to have a day, and I think they're going to get it. I do think the Showboats are going to be able to run the ball on them, though. I don't think Renegades are going to stop much running. And then the Battle of the Week, the Battle of the Titans. I'm going with Birmingham, mainly because they're home. Also because they're probably the best overall, most well-rounded team in the league. I think Adrian Martinez has established himself as a true starter, although A.J. McCarron's been playing great for St. Louis. Martinez has that extra dimension. He's got them wheels, baby. He was the league's leading rusher until my boy John Levitt came up and topped him this past weekend. But, hey, man, I think Birmingham and St. Louis is going to be a great game. High scoring, maybe. Low scoring, maybe. All I know is the score is going to be close. Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose, and the score is going to be close. There ain't going to be no blowout this weekend in that game. Those two teams are going to battle it down to the fourth quarter. It probably look like a Brahmas game, within one score at the end. That's my prediction. Then we got Panthers going to DC. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna just be real with you, bullpen fam, right now. I think DC's gonna win this game, but I'm still salty. I'm salty from that loss. That would have locked us in for the playoffs, and now instead we're going to have to battle out with these dudes all the way to the end of the season. I got to listen to Webb. Y'all don't know what I go through behind the scenes with that guy. Hold on. I lost $20 to Webb. I did pay up, though. I paid up immediately. But now we're even 1-1 for the season, and I would just feel better if the Panthers beat them. That's it. Go Panthers, baby. Come on, Michigan. Do me a favor. All right, and then I got San Antonio. Obviously, we're going up against probably the worst team in the league. I'm going to go ahead and throw out my score prediction. Brahmas 27-15. Hey, Bullpen, how'd you come up with this prediction? Pretty simple. I averaged how many points per game the Brahmas score, and I wrote that number down, and then I averaged how many points per game that the Roughnecks score. I wrote that number down. I think the defense, and why do I keep talking offense? Because I think the defenses are established. They're consistent, and they're going to do what they have to do each and every week. I'm not worried about our defense. I'm not worried about Houston's defense. I think they're both going to perform. Our offenses are the question mark at this point, which is wild to me because our offense was what we were coming into this season hanging our cowboy hats on. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, my score 27-15. Took the averages. As always, I'm glad week 6 is over. Let's get to week 7. And I'm going to say this is like a guaranteed dub. So I'm going to have a great weekend. I ain't even worried about this game. Bookmark that. We'll see what happens next week. As always, baby, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Let's end it with a horns forward. Let's go Brahmas, baby.